So it's your Harrogate, and on our Green Month with Tech Buyer, we're actually finding out a bit more about Tech Buyer today. We're joined by Josh and Ollie. So Josh is the Group Sales Director at Tech Buyer, and Ollie is the Product Sales Director. Thank you very much for coming in. Do you guys do a lot
Thanks for having us.
Do you do a lot of things like this, Josh? Like interviews and talking about Tech Buyer to people who maybe don't know loads about you?
No, I tend to leave that for the other guys who are a little bit better at it. I've done one public speaking event, which was nicely outside my comfort zone, and actually quite enjoyed it. I thought it was good to push myself. So, no, fairly unfamiliar with these things.
And Tech Buyer based very near to us here at Hornbeam Park, but I mean, unlike your Harrogate, which goes about as far as Paisley Bridge, you go all over the entire world. And if you had to just give us a little bit of a brief kind of overview, a sort of 30-second guide to Tech Buyer, Ollie, I'm putting you right on the spot here. How would you describe what Tech Buyer does in a nutshell?
So we're an IT asset disposal company. We sell data center hardware globally, primarily refurbished. We're very customer-centric, relationship-centric. We focus on sustainability and approaches of sustainability in the IT sector. We are starting to move into more of a channel partner as well, so we can do both aspects of a sale and be able to appeal to both ends of a deal. Let's say, for example, if a customer's looking for a cheaper solution, and especially with the current climate and the economy at the moment, that's in high demand. But no, we have a very wide product portfolio, and we sell IT.
And sustainability we're going to talk about is really important, but just to go back to one of the first things you said, because I think in sales, Josh, it's relationships, probably relationships and results. I mean, if I could think of something else beginning with R, then that would be great, and I can't. But it's all about actually having when the specifics of the product are quite detailed. Actually, you're working on a level kind of above that, really, with people, aren't you? When you're selling this around the world.
Yeah, I would have said so. It's above and beyond. What we do isn't everyone can replicate it, but we just do it really well. We make sure we're focused on long-term goals, looking after the long-term view, and as a result, that helps build relationships with the customers, gain our trust.
And you guys both live in Harrogate?
Yes. Yeah, I'm just local, yeah.
And are people sort of quite astounded when they find out, you meet somebody at a barbecue or like a kid's party or whatever, and when they find out what you do and the fact that all this goes on from Hornbeam Park, are people quite shocked by that?
I downplay it a little bit. When people ask me, I tell them I just sell IT and the stuff that powers the internet. But then when they get into it a little bit more, some people find it amazing, and some people just don't understand the facets of IT. But once you actually get into it, the world of IT is so enormous that I find it incredibly interesting. So
it's a learning curve every single day, isn't it? You've got so many different product ranges, so many different manufacturers, and you have to, apply yourself in learning that. And if you get asked for something which you don't know, you can't blag that you don't know it. You have to learn about the product. You have to be able to find out what the customer's needs are and be able to find the best solution for them.
And the sustainability part, we talked a bit last week with Rich about we talked a bit about sustainability and some of the issues that actually some environmental issues that are kind of going to be caused by all the technology advancements that we've got, and actually some things that probably we talked about last week people just were not aware of. Certainly the feedback we've had since last week is it hadn't been on people's radar, some of the stuff about what you do with tech when you upgrade your phone or you just decided that you're ready to change your laptop for a different one or whatever. And sustainability is a key part of your success at Tech Buyer, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. Whether or not people have chosen to go down that path of the sustainable option, it's actually come into play as a result of lead times with certain manufacturers. They've had to go down those channels and be able to kind of find creative solutions and be able to be flexible with the IT that they're purchasing. And in doing so, they've come back for repeat orders. It's a relationship which has prospered from a bad situation. You've got COVID, you've got Chipageddon. You've got all of these external factors which makes procurement for them an absolute nightmare. So we come in and we're able to, evaluate the criteria and go, okay, we can do this for you. And yeah, we've managed to build some really good relationships as a result of it.
And people like an ethical approach. When technology is something that we don't necessarily first think there are better ways, there are good ways to do this, but people like that.
I think it's a lack of education and probably a lack of communication from maybe the government as well, I think as well as time goes on, there'll be more incentives for people to be more sustainable, which, our business is going to thrive as a result of that as well and be more applicable to more people's IT demands. But whether or not they're aware of it or not, it will become more of a factor in their procurement as they move forward.
Okay, so last question, and feel free to have a bit of a think of this, but can you each tell me one thing that's sort of on the horizon that TechBuy is involved with, and whether that's here locally or whether that's on a wider scale, that would be quite impressive? You don't have to give us all the details if there's any trade secrets, but just the kind of theme of something.
I would say the energy and carbon consumption of data centers at the moment, it's enormous, and we have a tool that can allow us to calculate that and give solutions to people on how they can improve that. And that could save so much energy, which obviously with energy prices at the moment as well is something that is enormous for anyone using servers because they use a lot of energy. So I would say that is one of the most significant sustainable things going forward.
Yeah, not only for us as a business as well, but for the economy. I think it's going to be such an integral part of data center infrastructure. And I think that we are incredibly lucky to have a team and a man like Rich Kenny who's able to drive that forward. He's brilliant.
Great stuff. Well, thank you both for your time this morning. Really nice to meet you. I look forward to hearing more about TechBuy over the next few weeks.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.